impressions of the offense overall through the first week?
I think the biggest thing is we're still working on a lot of things. I think that at this stage of the game, the defense is always ahead of the offense because the offense is putting in plays, massive amount of plays, where the defense is working just on their defensive schemes and stuff like that. Now, I don't want you to feel like, we've been doing terrible out there, but that's just how practice is. We've got to get all of our formations, protections, motions, shifts, all that stuff in, and then when we get all that stuff in, we can start settling down and really starting judging performance and finding out exactly what we're good at and what we're not good at.
And I know you want to have T-Mac out there, but what are the benefits of not having him out there to start camp?
If someone would have told us that T-Mac didn't turn pro, that he was going to stay with us and not go to another school, and then sit out during spring ball and camp, and then come in right before the season and play, would we be happy with that? I think we might have agreed to that.
Jason and then Brian.
Josh Baker said that to describe your offense is you used the word nasty. What does that mean to you when describing the offense?
It makes my hair stand up that our starting center said the word nasty about an offense. As they go, we go. I grew up in the age where everybody used to call the offensive linemen hogs. I said, well, our offensive linemen are not hogs, they're elephants. Everybody says that the lions is the king of the jungle. That's not true. I've seen many lions look at a whole bunch of elephants and go, I ain't going down there. Those guys are big. So the elephants are the king of the jungle, and as they go, we go. And if Baker's going to lead and he says we're nasty, then we're nasty.
Brian and Matt Reynolds.
Of all the offenses that you've run over the years, what is this, like what you're aiming for, fit closely to as far as maybe a previous stop?
This is going to be a different journey. It's going to be a lot different. I'm doing some things, a combination of things that I haven't done before, and some of it's really cool. And as I evolve in both the offenses that we've combined, it'll be fun to see what I can sprinkle in from some of the experiences of the people I've been around to maybe even put an icing on the cake that makes it look and taste a little bit different.
Nothing from anything from the previous stop here that might be sprinkled in?
There's definitely some stuff from the previous stop that could be sprinkled in there.
Matt and then Michael.
Seems like every camp at every level, the defense kind of does start ahead of the offense, whether it's college or pro. But keeping the terminology the same with these guys and having, being able to get a lot of these guys in tune with that during the spring, do you think it'll be maybe less of a learning curve in fall camp to close that gap with defense?
It better be. I mean, it was done on purpose, and I think that's exactly what we have is less of a learning curve. And I think once we get everything in, then we're going to move along at a faster pace, and that's going to be the key. Not only did we move at a faster pace in spring ball, but it should carry over through fall camp as well.
Michael and then Damian.
How has Rhino looked at left tackle so far, and what is your sort of general advice or outlook for someone who's doesn't have any college snaps going into such a?
I think the biggest thing when we want to talk about individual people is I'm telling you right now, I will keep it general. But Rhino's been out there working. He's been doing a good job for us. And I think as he continues to grow out there, the more reps he gets, he's going to get better and better and better.
Damian and Justin.
So between your time at A&M and Baylor, today Arizona officially back into the Big 12. For you, what memories do you have of working in that conference?
This is a great question. I was actually thinking about this when I was driving to work this morning at that odd hour. But, when I went to A&M, we were extremely established. And with R.C. Slocum, a program that had been around a long time, and he had been there a long time. And, spent 2 years out there, and then we ended up all getting let go. When I went back to Baylor, Baylor was the worst team. Like, supposedly, they had that ESPN ticker thing that used to go underneath the bottom of ESPN. And during bowl season, it used to say, I don't know why it said this, but it used to say the three teams that have been the longest without going to a bowl. And when I went to Baylor, we were one of those three teams, like the longest team that's never gotten to a bowl. So that was a total rebuild when we went there. And to start with that ticker running and then getting it to where RG3 was winning the Heisman and we were winning double digits in the Big 12 with Oklahoma and Texas and all those teams in that league, that was a sight to see. That was a major, major accomplishment, a major feather, and something that I took a lot of pride in. But it's amazing. It's amazing when you think about what that league's gone through and how good that league is. And the biggest thing that I want everybody to understand is we're excited to go to the Big 12. The Big 12 has been around a long time. I'm excited to get back into some of those venues down south where, you know, church is on Sunday and they start by saying something good about the man upstairs, and the next thing you know, it's the score of the football game. And if you think I'm making that up, I am not. And I was like, my mouth just dropped. We just blessed him, and then the next thing you know, it was the score of the A&M football game or the Baylor football game. Are you kidding me? And that stuff is real. So it's going to be a little bit different, but they've got to come out to Tucson, Arizona as well. And the last time I checked on that football field, the practice we went through right there, it can get a little hot sometimes.
So we spoke with the running backs yesterday, and they called Noah a leader. They call him captain. After being here for 6-7 months, what's your impressions of how the team rallies around Noah? And what do you think about his leadership?
Noah's like sainthood. He's like, what was the guy? Not King Arthur. Who was King Arthur's number one knight? Was it Sir Lancelot? Sir Lancelot? That's who he is. He is absolutely amazing. I can't even describe him. You start talking about him and your hair starts standing up like there's something weird with you. I mean, the guy is special.
And then the backup quarterbacks, what have they shown you so far in camp?
We've got so many of them that we're spacing out reps. We're slowing down our decisions because we're not going to have an opportunity to go down the road and go, oh man, we picked the wrong one, and retrain another one. So slow and steady is the way with those guys in the back. But there's going to come a day here really soon where we've got to start making some decisions, and then we're going to have to just go with some guys. And because we've got to get that pocket of guys down to one guy, because you can't give the backup quarterback enough reps, but you sure in the hell can't divide those reps between other people.
Michael and then Troy.
Without giving away state secrets here, you have a coach to quarterback communication system now. Besides like the play call itself, what are some of the tips you might give to Noah or the quarterback, and then when is it cut off? Like before the?
Well, I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure on how many seconds, okay, before it cuts off. You guys can look that up. But I think the biggest thing is this is all new for the coaches, and it's all new for the players. And I played back in the day, and I'm not quite sure I would want my coach talking to me all the way up to the very last second before a play is called. Because a lot of times the players are a lot cooler than the coaches in those situations. Because if you're playing, you can be cool. Sometimes as a coach sitting out there, you're like, you're acting like you're out there. You're not out there. Those guys are out there. So you got to let them play. I think we're going to have to work through some things, but I think we're doing that. We're doing a good job in practice. We're pushing the issue. And I think the biggest thing is you get that information. What I want to do is get all that information to the quarterback as fast as possible without a mistake, which that's what the communication's for. And I don't want to take the extra time to talk to him in his ear. I want him to take the extra time at the line of scrimmage to dissect what's going on so that we can operate.
Troy and then Justin.
Kind of going back to Justin's question about the backup quarterbacks, what is your ideal number 2 quarterback? What do you want to see from a backup quarterback in your system? What is the model for that for you?
Well, I don't know. I hope we can do what you guys did last year. Your backup quarterback last year was like some guy by the name of Noah Fita. I thought that guy was a heck of a backup, but I think he was an even better starter than he was as a backup. So if we could find someone close to him, we'd be really excited.
Last question, Justin.
What can you say about the Polynesian culture here at Arizona? How does it compare to when Coach Tony was here?
You know, I think the Polynesian culture in itself is an issue. I'm not an issue, is an article. And, I was born in Hawaii, but I'm not from Hawaii. I went back and played at the University of Hawaii in that Polynesian culture under Dick Tomey, and saw him bring the Hawaiian culture here to Tucson at the University of Arizona. And now to see under Coach Brent that tradition of the Polynesians having great success and enjoying their time out here in the Tucson community is I think it's flattering. I think it's impressive, and I think that not only the people who have continued that pipeline that Coach Tomey started, but I think it's a huge feather in Coach Tomey's cap as well. And I don't think Coach B would be upset at all for me saying that. They traditionally play with great spirit. They're extremely loyal, They believe in family, they believe in Ohana, and they believe in doing things the right way, and they're tough and they're physical, which normally means if you're a football player or a rugby player, you're going to have a chance if you got some of those qualities.
All right, that's our time.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Dino.